I'm going to call the meeting to order. Will you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. Welcome to the Tuesday, April 18, 2023 meeting of the Westport Select Board. I'd like to start with some acknowledgements of recognitions. I first want to welcome Manny Soares, newly elected in April, and the return of Steve Ouellette, who's also elected. So congratulations to both of you, and welcome. I also want to congratulate Kristen Stinson, who was elected town clerk. We had some other people elected, but those were the contested races. But thank you to everybody who ran for office, who's participating in your government. We had about 1,800 voters. It was kind of low turnout with 1,800 voters. They also want to extend thanks to Bernadette Oliver, whose assistant was invaluable to run the election, and then all the poll workers that they worked a rather long day for the poll workers. So thanks to everybody who made the election run smoothly. And Dick was telling me that one of our elected officials is Paul Jennings. Paul is Westport's representative to the Diamond School Committee, and he was just recently reelected. He's on his 21st year as a Diamond School Committee representative. So, and he's the longest representative they've ever had, is that
That's
right?
correct.
In the head of it. So thank you to Paul Jennings for serving on the Diamond School Committee. Are there any other acknowledgements or recognitions? So the first order of business is the reorganization of the board. After every election, we reorganize the board and choose a new chair, vice chair, and clerk. So I just want to take a moment and ask if anyone is interested in serving as chair. This is what you wanted to do before, that everybody was interested, right? I myself am not interested in serving as chair.
Well, I am the vice chair, and I would look forward to that if my friends would support that.
Okay, so is anybody else interested in running for chair?
No, I'll move Dick for chair.
I will second Dick for chair. All in favor? Aye, that's unanimous.
Thank you.
I'm going to take over this vice chair vote too, and then I'll turn it over. Is that okay?
Thank you. Sounds excellent.
So is anybody interested in serving as the vice chair?
If
I am
you need
not.
me, I'll step up.
Okay, so we have Steve volunteering for vice chair. Is anybody else interested in the vice chair? Okay, so I will move Steve Ouellette as vice chair.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It is the tradition of this board that the newest member of the board becomes the clerk. So we would appreciate it greatly if you would continue that tradition and serve as clerk.
I will.
Okay, so.
I'll move Manny.
And I will second Manny. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's unanimous. So I'm just going to swap places with Mr. Brewer
Andy,
here.
I'm okay staying here tonight.
You want to stay there?
Yeah,
Okay.
next time I'll-
Dick is going
Open
to.
my mouth. I'll do it if I have to. Do whatever you want me to do.
Just gonna ease in slowly.
All right, so we're gonna have Dick take over the meeting.
Well, thank you for your vote of support, and I hope I am worthy, and I hope I don't get recalled somewhere along the way. But anyway, I did have the opportunity to be chair once before during the COVID year, but all the meetings were remote, so I never got to do it here. And but anyway, thank you. Okay, we'll get right down to business, and the next group of items would be the appointments and resignations. 2A is a request from the Council on Aging Director, Beverly Bish, to accept the resignation of Robin Azevedo as supportive daycare aide, who had served in that position for 17-plus years. Perhaps, Beverly, you could tell us a little bit about, if you are so inclined, sure.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Yes, Robin worked for the Council on Aging many years before I got there. And she's been a supportive day program aide for a lot of years. And she's been really phenomenal with people. She knows she's lived in town, she knows a lot of the people. And she has really good rapport with everybody, even personal, getting people to come into the supportive day program and use it. So we're going to miss her, but she's waited a long time to retire, and she and her husband have a cabin up in Maine, and because of her work, she's never able to go because he wants to go up for 5 days, but she's going to work a day here and there. So she said she's going to take advantage of that. So,
Oh, great.
so we thank her very much for her many years of service.
Motion to accept the letter, thanks.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None? That was unanimous. Thank you. Thank you, Beverly. And there's another item here. The next item is also Council on Aging. Requests from the Council on Aging Director, Beverly Bish, to appoint Mark Barawi to the part-time position of Supportive Day Program Aide.
Come on up. Come and join us.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Mark has been a volunteer with the Supportive Day program since September. And with our resignations that we've had, we, encouraged him to apply for the position. He's been great. It's really nice to have a gentleman in the program because we have probably 5 or 6 gentlemen who do come to the program. And it's nice to have a gentleman to be able to, walk somebody to the restroom and to, kind of chat and, do the guy thing. So, it works very, very well. And we've been really pleased with his volunteer work and with his work. So, we asked him to apply. And he was gracious enough to do that.
Okay, now this is a request for an appointment. Mark, do you have anything to say? Tell us about yourself, or?
Yes, I've been living in Westport for the past 7.5 years. I live at Westport Village Apartments. And prior to that, I lived in Pennsylvania for most of my life. And after my wife passed, I moved up here to be with my son, who lives in Tiverton.
Okay.
And it's been a fantastic move. It's been wonderful to move to Westport.
Great. Glad to have you.
And I needed something to do in my spare time, and I would go down to the council and ask if they could use a volunteer.
Okay.
And it just so happens they could.
Absolutely.
It works that way.
And the rest is pretty much history.
Well, great to have you on board.
Thank you so much.
Okay, and do I have a motion in this regard?
You don't own a cabin in Maine, do you? We want you to stick around for a while, so. Motion to accept.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Paula, thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Glad to have
Thank
you
you.
aboard.
Mr. Chair, can I just recommend that we move up action item 3E and talk about the Council on Aging donations while we have Beverly?
That's always worthwhile, sure.
Sure.
Yes, so I guess I'd have to read this, correct?
Would you like, I can read it if you like.
Okay, yeah, if you'd read it, thank you.
All right, so I move that we accept the following donations to the Council on Aging. $100, a Ralph Urban donation for best use, $10 Vic Reitano for best use, $100 Sharon Matori for best use, $100 Arthur Anctil for best use, $100 Linda Carrera in memory of Kathy Archer, $50 Samantha Ferreira in memory of Kathy Archer, $100 Mary Biasotti for Tech Help, $20 Mary Jo Amaral for Tech Help, $5 Louise Gerard for Tech Help, $50 Karen Kirby for Tax Help, $10 Nick Saulnier for Tax Help, $20 Anonymous for Outreach, $10 Gloria Veloza for Outreach, $50 Janice Goulart for Outreach, $5 Cora Kea for Outreach, $50 Robin Santos for Outreach, $100 Tony Vieira for Equipment Loan, $20 Hospitality, totaling $900.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Maybe I could ask Beverly, these are donations to the Council on Aging, not the Friends. Is that
No,
correct?
the Council on Aging.
Yeah, the Council on Aging, that's separate than.
Yeah, they
Friends.
come into the town, the checks are made to the town of Westport, and then they go in our gifts and donations account. So we have like a technology line item for gifts and donations, because I've gotten grants from Bristol Alder Services. So all of those go in and stay so that we can keep that technology program going. Best use is just if we decide we need an activity, or there's something else for the center that needs to be done, we pull the money out of there and use it for that.
Okay,
So-
thank you for that clarification. Okay, the motion has been made and seconded. Further discussion? If none, I'll assume it's time to vote. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None? The motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Beverly. Thank you again, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome
Thank
aboard.
you so much.
That's it for the Council on Aging, right?
I think so,
Beverly,
unless,
do you expect to have a picnic day this year?
We're gonna do an indoor picnic
Okay.
on August 5th.
Oh, you already got the date?
I got the date. It's gonna be an indoor picnic, I believe. I'm trying to get D&D Catering. And we also have a band that's coming in. They're called the Fab Four, and they are a Beatles tribute band. And we had Elvis a few weeks ago, and it was great, but I know this one's gonna go over. It's gonna be a Saturday.
Thanks.
Awesome,
So
thank
hopefully
you.
we'll do that. But and I'm limited because we're doing it indoor. It's difficult to do it outdoor with the weather and with Triple E and all of that stuff. And people with walkers walking up and down the hill to come into the restroom. So with the air conditioning and everything, and then we don't have to worry about it. So we decided to do it
I
indoor.
won't be in town that day, so you'll have some elbow room. All right, thanks.
So, thank you.
Thanks again. Okay, continuing on would be on 2C, request from Lawrence Holsworth to be appointed to the Internet Advisory Committee. Is Mr. Holsworth here tonight?
No, I'm on the Internet Advisory Committee, and I've talked with Mr. Holsworth, and I recommend his appointment, so I will move his appointment to the Internet Advisory Committee.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? If none, I'll assume it's time to vote. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. The motion carries unanimously, Paula. Thank you, and we welcome him to the Internet Advisory Committee, which is doing a lot of work these days.
We're meeting Thursday.
Oh. Okay, the next section on the agenda, so I get used to this again. This is work here.
Wow.
Action items. Okay, 3A is a request from the Planning Board to authorize for appropriation of funds for expenditure of surety for completion of the definitive plan of Maderos Farm on Maya Way, or known as Maya Way. Jim, maybe you could give us a little on this as the background.
Sure, so this is a subdivision that was approved, could have been approved 15 years ago. It was constructed, but never completed. The planning board is holding a bond or a performance guarantee. It's a surety in the amount of cash that the town has been holding in order to transfer that money to the town so that we can expend it to finish the remaining work.
Mhm.
We need approval, well, the planning board needs approval from the Board of Selectmen.
Okay.
We used a similar procedure years ago for Stonehaven Way and for Barad Court.
Okay. Questions, comments for Jim or anybody else on this
I'll
matter?
move it.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Okay, I'll assume again, once it's time to vote, all in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. The motion carries unanimously again, Paula. Thank you. Okay, the next item on the agenda is a request from Chris Leonard, who's the Director of Marine Services, to contract Bruce Ingram of the FV Ocean Rancher for the 2023 Quahog Relay. Jim, again, tell me what that's all about.
Do you want to speak?
Oh.
on it?
Well, your neighbor here.
You want me here, there?
You know, either one, and
I'm
take your
mixed
pick.
directions.
I know who you are, but for the benefit of all, if you could state your name.
For those who don't know, I'm Rick Smith. I'm a member of the Shellfish Advisory Committee. Before I launch into my narrative here quickly, Mr. Millette, Mr. Willis, congratulations. And Dick, to you.
Thank you.
You're in a big seat. Just a couple of things. The director asked me to sit in just to clarify to the board if there's any questions or whatever. This appropriation comes every year. It's from the gift money from the Shellfish Propagation Fund that the committee raises money. And it comes to you with the unanimous support of the Shellfish Advisory Committee. We all met on this. We had a conversation about this. For those who don't know, this keeps the river economically viable. We plant the cohogs, and then we go back and we fish them out. The fishing vessel, we've been doing business with the fishing vessel, Ocean Ranger, and Bruce for a number of years. We've had great luck with him. He's always been good to us. And hopefully we can get your approval to move forward, get these cohogs in the river and get them planted and get them doing two things: growing so we can harvest them and cleaning the river. Personally, I think it's a value to the town. It brings the vibrant fishery to the town and all the good things, economic and whatever that this does and works for us and works for the town. So it's my hope that we'll get the appropriation and we can get to work. Our volunteers are all lined up. This is all a volunteer program. The people who put these cohogs in the river take two hours out of their day, 5 days a week, to put these cohogs in the river. So
I'll move that we allow them to do what they need to do.
A second.
Motion made and seconded. First of all, Jim, you have any comments?
No, I recommend approval.
Okay, any discussion, comments from the board? Any?
Where do you guys get the cars from?
If I tell you though, I gotta, yeah. Where do we get them from? Actually, they come out of the Taunton River. And the way the program works is they come out of the Taunton River and they're not fit for consumption at that point. So you put them in the river in clean water and they clean themselves at the same time they clean the river. So we let them set for a predetermined amount of time, then they're tested by the state approves it, and then we open that relay area. Right now, we're working off of Ram Island, the flat out there. That's a relay area we planted last year. Prior to that, it was over in the other part of the river, and we planted there a little bit earlier at Half Moon Flat, and let that clean itself out.
How many years you guys been doing this?
Well, I've been on the committee for about 15 years, and to my knowledge, we've been doing it for 15 years. I don't know, maybe
Offhand, I don't know.
somebody with a little more history than me, but I think 15 years are kind of stuck.
I think you've been doing it for about 50 years.
Yeah, probably.
Because I lived on the Taunton River, Breeds Cove. When I was like 10 years old, they were digging them there. Bringing them to us.
Well, I can tell you this, the way my back feels, I think we've been doing it for 15 years.
Okay, a motion has been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And none opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you. Rick,
Okay.
good to see you.
Thank you very much.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Rick is...
Good luck, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, thank you. If I need any help, I'll give you a call.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. Okay, the next item, 3C, is the request from town clerk-elect, Kristen Stinson, to post the assistant town clerk position in-house and publicly simultaneously. First of all, I'll ask Krista if you want to address this, or Jim, do you have anything to say on this, or either or both?
Just a second.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks. So, yeah, I think that I definitely need an assistant probably sooner than later. I have a lot to learn there, and if I'm spending all of my time processing the 3,000 or so beach passes that I expect in the next month and a half, I'm going to need an assistant sooner. Yeah. I would like to post them publicly, but I understand the union regulations about hiring, that I would have to review all of the in-house within that 10 days and process everything there, and then move on to other applicants. So, that's it.
Jim, do you have anything to add to the,
No, I just
regarding the process here?
recommend that we post it as soon as we can to get somebody down there. Union, I think, for the first 7 days.
Yeah, is
10
it
days,
7 or
7
10? I
days.
can't remember, sorry.
We
Yeah.
can only accept applications for them for the first 7, but by the time we get it posted and get it outside of town hall, it's going to be 7 days anyway. So
Okay,
if we can move on both, that would be helpful.
okay. and-
Mr. Chair, I'd just like to point out, so this position is vacant because the assistant town clerk was
Yes.
just elected to be the town clerk. So that's where the vacancy came from.
Exactly.
All right.
So you're by yourself running the office now.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
which, you know, is awesome. And if it was like the middle of winter, I probably could rock it for a little while, but I think seasonally it's, it needs some backup. So,
Move it. I'll move it.
Okay.
I'll second.
A motion made and seconded. Further discussion? If none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Congratulations
you.
again.
Mr. Chair, can I just ask that we move up the topic that was in the 48-hour rule? Because
Okay.
it relates to the town clerk while she's here. So I don't really know anything about it because it just came up, so maybe Jim
Okay.
could
Yeah,
fill
this is
us
just
in.
the appointment letter for the town clerk that we send up, I believe, to the state. Not really sure it's an action item, but I just wanted to put it on the agenda anyway so that we can get the board signature. Once it's signed, we'll send that up and she will be official once she's sworn in. So.
So do we have that available to sign today? We do, okay.
Do we need any motion on this, or is it just a matter of record?
I would say-
We need to vote on it.
Motion, yes, certification of appointment.
Why don't we just move to certify the appointment?
I'll move.
I'll second.
Okay, further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. All that
Just,
carries.
oh, not me. It's just the clerk.
Yeah.
No longer the clerk.
Just the clerk.
fancy.
Things happen faster.
Look at that. Woo!
Well, no, it says president of the city council, so this is,
Okay, there we go.
The two new ones, all right.
There's two. And then below it, it says,
Okay.
oh, is that you?
I think, yeah, I think
That's
the
you.
bottom section
it's
is mine.
Dick, it's
and
Dick
then
that
it's
needs to
just-
sign
It's
it.
just
top
like
section.
Yeah, probably, it's just Dick, most likely,
It's probably just Dick.
yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Bernadette just kind of
Nothing on
tossed
here?
that at me right before.
Yeah,
she was
that's
sitting
her
down. She was
signature, I
like,
think.
"Sarah."
Oh,
Because that says, I hereby certify that I have
Okay,
entered.
okay.
Right.
So this goes back to,
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
okay. Good.
Right, you're all
Thank you
set.
very much.
Thank you.
I'm gonna hang around for a minute just because I want to.
Please stay, we love when people
Oh, you must be
Yeah.
overtired. Jeez.
So now-
I know you probably have to read it anyway, but they pulled their request, 3D pulled their request late in the afternoon today. for the
Okay.
banner, But I'm not sure the
we
problem.
just wanna
was still
pass
up to
over
read it.
that?
She said,
So pass over for now.
I emailed her the application and everything. She said due to the cost and the amount of time that they wanted to have it, that they decided not to do it at this time.
Okay,
Whether it'll come back, I'm not sure.
Just so you know, and the board knows, Maury brought it to my attention, they can double stack the banners. He had it made so it can double stack.
Yeah.
So it is possible.
Yeah, I did
to have to-
explain that to
Okay.
them.
Yeah.
I did explain that to them. I'm not sure, I wanted to reach back out to her because
been
she
so
did
long.
mention something about the cost of it too, so I wanted to go back to her and see if that was the
Somebody
sole.
else mentioned one too, or we approved one, plus shell stock will be coming.
Right, so,
Yeah, okay.
okay, so we'll pass over that,
yes,
that's,
please.
that's D, okay. We will so do that, we don't need any motions on that, I think.
No, we're good.
Okay, we already did 3E when Ms. Bish was here. So 3F is the request from the Economic Development Task Force to hold their summer market from June 3rd, 2023 to October the 7th, 2023, on the south parking lot at the Town Hall Annex, and their winter market on November 18th and 25th, 18 and 25, 2023, and December 2, 9, and 16, 2023, in the Annex Gym, also to hang the banner for the events. Wow, that was a mouthful. Yeah, and this is,
I'm Maury May, and I'm Vice Chair of the Economic Development Task Force. And Mr. Chairman, I have to ask a question about the open meeting law, because the Economic Task Force, while it's a committee of 7, only has 4 members, and 3 of them are sitting right here.
that's not
So is it
entirely-
4, is it 3 out
It's a
of
publicly
4 or
posted
3 out
meeting.
of 7?
I think we're
It's a
fine.
public- yeah,
It's a public
posted
meeting.
We're in our
Okay.
official capacity, so.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no issue.
So anyhow, as the chairman said, we are asking for permission for 3 things. A summer market on 19 Saturdays on the south parking lot of the annex, and then a winter market on 5 non-consecutive Saturdays in the annex gym. And third, to hang the banner for the events. Actually, it's the event. We do a banner for the summer market, not the winter market. And so I'm asking for permission to do that, to go ahead and do that. And also, I have a statement here from Ben Walbach, and Ben and his wife Hannah are the market managers. Ben was hoping to be here tonight, but couldn't make it, so I'd like to read this following statement from Ben. Hannah and I are very excited about the Westport Farmers Market summer season. We have a loyal customer base and really nice core of vendors that we're building upon. We had a strong season last year and picked up some great momentum with very robust return of the winter market with lots of talented vendors and appreciative shoppers. We are on the lookout for new vendors to broaden and diversify our offerings, and we're also looking for more community partners to make the market a place to do more than just shop. Ideas in that direction include presentations from local health and wellness professionals and local nonprofits that might want to share what they do with the public. We're also hopeful that we'll receive grant funding from the Cultural Council for the continuation of our live music series that makes the market a really fun place. All in all, we're looking to keep a good thing going and improve upon it in ways that make the market a destination for the whole community.
Well spoken.
Yes, well done.
Well done, Ben.
Okay, so we have a request as outlined here. What is the sentiment of the committee? Do I have a motion?
Well, again, just for the record, I'm Chairman of the Economic Development Task Force, and we wholeheartedly support this, so if it's appropriate, I'll move it.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. Further discussion? Any questions of Mr. May?
Well, I love that. I'm glad you're doing it again. I'm glad
We
that
are doing it
you're-
again.
Yeah, we
Hopefully we'll get
appreciate
the
this.
music then.
Farmers
And we
appreciate
have the music. I'm waiting any day now for our request from the Cultural Council. We asked for $2,900 this year. We were paying $100 a market per musician, but we want to try to have a little extra money to get some groups. Ben's interested in getting a jazz band at some point in the summer. We're also interested in getting a chorus, maybe at holiday season, to do some Christmas caroling or whatever. So any day now, I should get that feedback. And we did a winter's market. We did not have winter's market because of COVID for 2 winters, but we had a winter's market last year, and we had an absolute flood of vendors in the last 2 before Christmas. The winter market is not so much a farmer's market, it is a farmers and crafts market, because the crafts vendors love coming to the winter market to sell their products into the seasonal gift-giving season, so.
Okay, motion was made and seconded. We didn't vote on this.
No, we didn't.
Okay, any
We're
further discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Then the motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
Hey, well, thank
The
you
whole
very much.
remembering if we voted thing is harder than it seems,
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
it?
Better watch out, GQ doesn't get a hold of you after that Facebook post on the beat. Who? Good luck. GQ magazine.
Oh, thank
Good
you.
luck. All right.
All right, the next item will probably take a little longer than some of the ones we've been discussing this evening, is the warrant articles recommendations. We have the latest copy here, and what this is all about, and I'll ask Shauna to help me here if necessary, but what we need to do is indicate if we support these recommendations or not as a select board. Vote therefore.
That was my thought, so that so we don't print the select board recommendations in the warrant, but if I believe it's important that we, the select board, have a position on each of these articles. So it's my belief that we should say whether we recommend or don't recommend each of these articles. I would recommend that we just kind of briefly go down the articles, put a hold on any that we want to discuss. I suspect there's not going to be a lot of controversy, but especially the 2 budget articles where or at least the 1 budget article where the finance committee came with something different. We just maybe should pause on that one, but.
Okay, that sounds like a good process. That's like the town meeting
Yeah, I think we
itself.
should kind of just like go and just put a hold on any. If we would not recommend the article, then we should put a hold on it and then circle back. That's my recommendation.
Okay. Is there anything, if I may ask, when we sponsor an article like Article 1 as selectmen, and we're still calling ourselves the Board of Selectmen here, I guess?
We haven't, the paperwork hasn't gone through yet.
They did file the legislation, it hasn't been approved as of yet.
Okay. I'm just wondering, do we have to do anything special when we are sponsoring a motion or an article?
I think it's just that the moderator will direct us which ones that we would make the motion at the floor of town meeting, but I
Okay.
don't think there's anything special.
Okay. All right, so I'm not going to read these. I don't think that's necessary. Is this material now available on the town website?
It is on the
It is.
town website.
Okay, so we're not here to debate over the articles, we're deciding if we want to support them. And all right, so I'm just going to zip right through these, but again, put a hold on me. If we want to have further discussion, then we'll come back to that at the end, because I think most of these will probably go quickly. So Article 1, any
We didn't
comments?
have any prior, so they're
gonna be
moved,
passed
they
over.
moved to Passover.
Okay,
We
so
don't have
that's,
any bills.
2, that's available funds, anything there that's we need to know?
Department transfers, end of year transfers,
And that's these from, to, and all that?
yes.
And there was a recent change to the Article 2 for the police personnel services. So that was added not that long ago, and that's to pay for the difference in the arbitration.
We originally had $25,000 in there for the SRO officer at the elementary school for the remainder of the year, and then an additional $25,000 for the police arbitration, for a total of $50,000.
Okay. Any comments? I'll pause just a little bit to make sure there's no comments. I'll just soldier on, as they say. Article 3, which is,
Closes out some of the old articles
yeah,
that have been hanging around for years, and it'll close those articles out and move that money to the capitalization stabilization fund.
okay. And if there's no comments, I'll go on. Article 4, salary and compensation of town officials. Anything here? If not, we'll go to 5. This is the general statement. Jim, if you could tell us what this
That's
is
the
about.
general, that's the overall town budget, Article number 5, and on the next page, it lists the areas where that article would be funded from. So this is the main budget for the town.
And then there's amendment at the back, has the spreadsheet where it is. And that's largely unchanged from when we sent it over to Finance Committee, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Article 6, this is the supplemental, the budget in the event that, this is the one where,
If we get an
yeah,
override.
if there's an override at a later date, this would be the subject of that.
I do want to point out on Article 6, when we sent Article 6 to the Finance Committee, we had added a few more positions on our side and increased the number to the school department. They subsequently took it back down to what we had originally, and that's when we finalized the warrant, this is what was in there. But this was a change from what we had originally sent over there. I myself am in favor of the Finance Committee recommendation, but there is a difference from what we sent to them.
So the way it's printed is the one they approved, correct?
Correct. So that's the $1 million total appropriation is the one that they are recommending.
Okay. Again, if everybody's comfortable with that and it doesn't need to hold, we'll just go on. We've had a lot of discussion on this. Many of you weren't here at the time, but
Lots
this
of
is,
discussion.
we've run this to the gamut. Okay, Article 7. Anything here? Jim, any comments you want to make to introduce this to us? This is, I should know about this, right?
Capital Improvement Planning Committee recommendations.
And these are the ones we agreed on and put forth, $761,000. The items listed. You have a hand up?
Yeah. How come a couple of the articles, FinCom recommends affirmative action unanimously 7-0, and then the rest are all 6-0?
Depend on how many people were at the meeting.
Different dates they did it?
Yes.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, I was looking at that too. 7-0 right above 6-0.
Which, I'm glad you asked that question. So I should remind myself, when we go through these articles, if they're not on hold, we're not going to talk about them. So do I assume 5-0 in favor? Or do we need to say
I
that?
believe,
There's no hold. we'll
I
go
believe
through
the
it again.
motion at the end will be that we
Okay.
recommend unanimously any that nobody puts a hold on.
Okay, got it. Okay, continuing, Article 8. Anything here that we should
The borrowing from the treasurer.
take note of? Okay, Article 9 is Board of Assessors, $40,000. Again, no hold, no comments, okay. Article 10,
Article 10 is the one where we're changing the exemptions for lower income, older people. We're changing the limit, the age, I think, or the limits.
yeah, and we had some discussion about this at the select board earlier. Okay, Article 11.
It's another eligibility for
Eligibility, yeah.
for a tax favorable treatment, I guess,
Yeah.
for veterans.
Yeah, and this if I recall, this got us in line with the rest of the state or other towns. Article 12 has to do with the town clerk's office, to remain closed on all Saturdays and to treat Saturdays as a legal holiday, et cetera. Okay, that's pretty much understood. Article 13. Regarding the former high school, the maintenance of it. And
100,000.
It's $100,000 for the
Free cash.
maintenance of the building.
Okay. Again, no holes or anything on this. Article 14 is having to do with the transfer station, $227,900.
It's for equipment at it's
Yeah.
using the landfill
Maintain
receipts
equipment.
reserve for equipment at the landfill transfer station.
Okay, no comments or holes on that, okay. Article 15, here's where we get to some of the enterprise funds. This has to do with the marine services. This is pretty much the format that always find it a little bit confusing the way it's laid out, but this is the correct format, and we know that. So if there's no comments, I'll move on. That's 15. 16 is the Waterline Enterprise, same thing, laying out the salaries, expenses, and so on and so forth. Comments, questions? None? No holes. And we'll go to 17, which is the Town Beach Enterprise. Again, laying out salaries, expenses, indirect costs, user charges, and so on and so forth. Okay, now Article 18, Cable Television Special Revenue Fund. Fund Community Television. Again, the same format, laying out salaries, expenses, and so on and so forth, so the voters know how this is being used. Okay, no comments, no holes. So Article 19,
Those are
revolving funds.
It's raising it.
the increases. So the fire went from 160 to 180. The Board of Health went up 10,000, and the library went up 2,000.
Okay. We'll keep moving along here. Article 20. This is this is different than 19, but it is revolving fund monies for all the departments that are involved in the revolving funds laid out here.
Yeah, 19 was raising the limit on those, and
Yep.
20 is authorizing the previous limits.
Okay. Any hold here or comments? No? Okay, yeah, this is usually familiar territory for us. Okay, 21, Community Preservation Committee. And listed are the CPA funding sources for the various items. And I believe Betty Slade was here talking about this not too long ago. There's a couple of pages of items, comments, questions, holds. I assume everybody's comfortable with that. Okay. Article 22. This is having to do with federal grants.
It's matching funds, making matching
Matching
funds
funds.
available for the grants.
Okay. Everybody's comfortable with that. 23, this is the municipal light plant.
So for 23, the Internet Advisory Committee is recommending affirmative action. For 24, though, the Internet Advisory Committee agrees with the Finance Committee to pass over.
Yes, like Mr. Cole spoke to that at Article 24 recently. Okay, so everybody's comfortable with that. So 25. Just got a staple here that I can't read.
Is the wage
$30,000.
survey.
Personnel Board, this is to prepare a wage study which they had brought up. Okay.
Just taking a step back on 24, is a recommendation to adopt on yours too, or do I have?
No, the recommendation.
Pass over.
Is
Just
pass over.
Okay, I have an older copy then.
Yeah, FinCom
All right, great.
recommends pass over unanimously, 6-0. So 26, 200,000 for, to evaluate municipal buildings, the use of the old high school at 19 Main Road. We talked about that, Brian addressed that, he was here. Okay, Article 27. Now.
So this, yeah.
Yeah, this is,
So these planning ones, the Finance Committee doesn't make any recommendation on the zoning articles. So they're all make no recommendation,
Mhm,
so
mhm.
I don't know, who we think? Do we want to make recommendations on these?
do we recall we did in the past on these?
I don't remember. Do you remember, Steve? Did we make?
I thought we were gonna
recommendations?
decide more to a town meeting to get, as they worked out all the details, because generally, planning board still tweaking until town meeting. Unless it was cut and dry.
So there's a couple of them here. Number 27 is Board of Health. They're just updating their bylaws.
So,
But the Finance Committee did not make a recommendation.
so I actually think we should recommend approval of Article 27. It's just,
Who's that one related to, you remember?
it's updating the text to, it's just updating the text about, in that bylaw to comply with mass law. It's like just syncing them up.
Okay.
So are we putting a hold on that, or?
Let's put a hold on 27, I guess.
Okay. 28 has to do with pilot programs,
With solar.
payment in lieu of tax, that's for solar, that's right. Okay, any comments on that, or holds? No? 29, more zoning bylaws.
So I think we're 29, 30, 31, 32. I think for all of those are all zoning that the finance committee doesn't make any recommendation on. So do you want to hear from the plan? I'm assuming the planning board is recommending them, or they wouldn't be on the warrant. Like, what would we need to know to support those?
Yes, I don't know, I started, I took a quick look through them, most of them are just minor corrections, some of them are just definitions, cleaning up some of the old bylaws, except for the solar that had some requirements for
Minimum lot
agricultural
size.
type solar, so they can allow use of the land underneath the solar panels for grazing or some other type of use. That was the only, I think, change that was really a change. The rest were kind of cleaning up the existing bylaws. There really shouldn't be anything that I could see that's controversial in these.
So I know I personally would vote in the affirmative of all of those, but I don't know, do we
Well,
want
they were
to?
removing the building inspector, which was under our purview, so it actually takes some of it away from us. So that's fine, I agree with you, it should carry on.
So no hold here.
So can I would like to recommend affirmative action on all those personally.
Yeah. So we're not holding it, just put it with the file.
So they're on hold for the moment? No, we come back to them, or are we?
No, we don't
No,
have to hold
we're
them.
just gonna put them
We're
through.
we're done with them. Do we need to vote?
But you still want to put Article 27 on?
No,
there?
I'm actually fine with Article 27 making affirmative. Let's have the end motion just be that we recommend affirmative action and passing over where the finance committee has agreed to pass over. Let's do that.
That sounds good to me.
Okay, all right.
So we're gonna agree to go pass over the ones that FinCom did, is that what you just said?
No, I'm
Oh.
saying that, yes, that we will recommend passing over the ones that the finance committee is recommending.
All right. That takes some of
Okay.
those out of that. Yeah, okay.
Are we now all the way to 33?
33.
Thirty-two is pretty long here.
Yeah.
Okay, 33. This has to do with personnel bylaws changes. Anything there that we need to take note of?
These are the changes the Personnel Board had voted on previously. They're just being updated in personnel bylaws.
Okay. So we don't have any strong feelings there on this. And 34 is the stabilization fund,
And they're moving 200,000.
200,000. Yeah, this is different than Article 6. Different item, different.
That's correct.
This is the
Thing.
final. So I move that the select board support in the affirmative all of the warrant articles where FinCom has recommended in the affirmative, or the FinCom has made no recommendation, and that we agree with the motions to pass over the ones the Finance Committee has decided to pass over.
Second.
A motion made and seconded. Regarding discussion, now, we had a hold item in there, so we have to come back to that, right?
Yeah, so I would like to remove the hold from Article 27 and recommend affirmative action on that one.
So you'll include that in.
I would like to include that in the initial motion.
Does the seconder agree with
That
that
includes
amended
it,
motion?
yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so noted. Okay, motion made and seconded on this. I think it's pretty clear, but any further discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. The motion carries unanimously. We're only
There you go.
unanimous tonight, it seems.
Quick meeting.
Town meeting.
Whoa. Don't get used to this.
It's not
folks.
done yet, we got
We still have more.
executive, yeah.
That's because Dick took over. We get an hour, Dick took
Yeah, this
over.
may not
and
repeat
the
itself.
Meeting just flies.
Okay, thank you. That was a good handling of what sometimes is a very complicated discussion on warrant articles, but thank you.
So darn much talking about the
Let's
warrant
do-
articles.
Okay, the next item is the town administrator report. Jim?
They're just following up on what the board just voted on. The warrant was finalized last week on April 13th. It is available on the website. Recommendations for the Department Appropriations are listed under Article 5. Article 6 is the contingent appropriation, subject to a future override vote. Town meeting is scheduled for May 2nd at the new middle high school. Town clerk, as you stated before, Bernadette Oliver retired in January. She did agree to work part-time over the last 3 months, which helped us out tremendously and helped Kristen out. We'd like to thank her for her years of service and helping us out over the last 3 months. And congratulations to Kristen, who was just elected as town clerk and will be sworn in tomorrow, hopefully. All right.
Will be televised, perhaps?
Yeah, we'll let you know. And again, the Diamond ballot vote was approved by the voters, which is going to have a very good, positive impact on the overall budget. A little bit this year, but in the future years, it's going to be significant. So that was something that really needed to go through as far as the budget goes, so.
Thanks,
thank
Dick, for
you.
all the work you did on that one.
Well, thank you. It was very,
I'm sure it was those
Very
signs that you amended that
Yeah,
pushed us
Rainey
over
gave
the
you all
edge.
credit, too.
Town Hall Annex, we've been going back and forth with the septic system. We've had some trouble in the bathrooms down in the basement with the bathrooms backing up a little bit. The water from the well is very sandy, so it clogs up the fixtures in the bathrooms. And sometimes over the weekends, they'll run constantly for 24, 48 hours, and that kind of causes the backup. But we had the tank pumped out a few weeks ago. Matt Amendo actually kind of took over that, which was very helpful. I wasn't around. And they're going to come back in and snake the lines, televise the lines from the bathrooms out to the DB box, the distribution box. So we are working on getting that fixed. They did have an event there on Sunday, a shower that was kind of interrupted. Dana showed up, and Tim Gillespie came to help out as well. So thank you to them. I was not around. So yeah, we're working on it. We're trying to get it resolved. And that's all I have.
any questions for Jim on the town report? Town administrator report? None? Thank you. Okay, we have the approval of minutes. Ann?
I'll move the minutes of April 3rd and April 12th. Oh, wait, do we have to do them separately? We have to do them
We
separately?
should do them separately because Manny wasn't
Because Manny
there on
wasn't
the
the
3rd.
Okay, so I'm going to move the minutes of April 3rd.
You have a
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Minutes
Real
of,
power.
minutes of April 3rd have been motioned. Any discussion on those minutes? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None? That
I think you
carries.
have one abstention.
Abstention.
One abstention, okay.
And then
We're abstaining for you.
I will move the April 12th minutes.
Second.
I was hoping it wouldn't fail.
My
for lack of a
official
We're all
second.
here for that one. That was online, yeah.
Okay, so motion made and seconded, discussion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All, any opposed, none, and that's, well, 5-0, that's, that, right?
Yeah, you get to review the minutes now.
Now you can move on.
You're still looking ways to sign the warrant, we gotta figure that out.
Yeah, you still want me to sign the warrant? I did it, I read it, I went through it, everything was good, no issues, it's signed.
Will
Good
those
to
be-
go.
will
We
these
paid
be-
everybody.
Will these be the last minutes that you'll be recommending?
Yeah, from now on, it's Manny and I'm doing
Pay
it.
attention, Manny, to what she does here. Well, thank you for your
No
being
worries.
clerk to so many.
Anytime.
Okay, continuing on to 6, report on the bill warrant.
She just did.
You just did it.
Oh,
She went out of order.
Yep,
She got
she's
ahead of
moving things
you.
along.
where's the drama with this? Is you- Okay, well, there's no action needed on this, it's just a report
No.
that,
It's just the,
does the clerk, the new clerk do that, or does that separate?
Well, we authorized Ann to do it.
Yeah.
It's not specific to the
because
clerk,
you
I don't
used to
think.
do, I did clerk and then you did, we split it at one point in time.
Yeah, that was the backup piece.
I can still do it, I just need to know that there's someone that I can call, that can do it if I can.
Is it at YouTube? We can just leave
Yeah,
it.
we
at
can
that.
leave it,
That's
I'm
fine.
fine with leaving it at the
Yeah.
two
I
of you.
usually, and if it's still okay, because Wednesday, it's usually ready the middle of Wednesday, and I can't come over in the middle of the day.
Yeah, I
I
can
usually
do
come
that.
over on my way to work on
Oh, that's fine.
Thursday.
As long as it's done by Thursday, right?
Yeah, and I've done it a couple of times, there's no sweat. Okay, so we'll continue that, that's not related to changing the clerk tonight.
Just one has to do it.
So you can come in and look at it if you want.
Yeah, you can look through.
Yeah,
it.
it's-
usually what that.
It's really big and confusing.
It's very exciting.
We're really glad that Ann looks it over for us.
Okay.
Anyone was trying to steal from us, there's no way I'd be able to find it, I can promise you that right now.
Okay, that's the report on the bill warrant, so we just want to share that. Now, the next section is 7, Manny. This, what we do here is selectmen, we call it liaison committee reports and suggestions for future agenda items, future agenda discussion action. So we talk about committees that we've been on and so on and so forth, and also make recommendations for things that we want to discuss in the future. The letters usually go from, I'll start with you. I don't know if you have much to say on this. But you might have an item for future consideration, so we'll start with you.
What's that, like on the committees that we sit on?
Yeah, you're on economic development with me. I'm gonna touch base on it if you want. I don't know what else you're on.
Yeah.
So he's not on, we haven't appointed him to any committee as our
Oh, yeah, he's on the
representative yet.
oversight committee.
Do we have a list of what Steve's
Right now,
on?
Manny's on economic development
Brian's on?
and the infrastructure committee on Route 6, and we're both on it. So, we'll have to make sure that still,
What,
you're at large at that.
So we were,
Planning board on one or both?
Planning board.
All right.
So Paula and I were talking before the meeting that maybe not the May 1st meeting, because that's right before town meeting, but maybe the meeting after that, we should relook at the selectmen appointments
Yeah,
to
we should be
the,
doing
to
it
the
at the
different
cycle
committees.
anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it starts July 1st. So. All right, sounds good.
But did
Okay.
you have anything else you want to say? This is your chance to talk.
Okay. All right, so economic
ahead,
development.
Steve,
It's all right, Mr. Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
All right, the economic development, we went over what Murray talked about, we went over all the dates and whatnot
all
for
of
the
us have
committee.
to sign?
Just so the selectmen know, we're carrying over approximately 4,700 that we've had sitting. As I mentioned in the past, we don't have an economic development person at this time. We want to save a little bit till Route 6 starts rocking and rolling, and we plan to help the businesses and bring business in with that money. So just to let you know, that money is in the works. I appreciate nobody sweeping it yet. Cable committee, we had a party and nobody showed up. We had the public hearing regarding the cable contract. And if you saw my Facebook post, Irene Buck had nice drinks and treats for everybody, and nobody came to drink them or eat the sweets, so.
Oh, we were invited?
Yeah, it was a public,
were?
we had it everywhere. Attorney Hewitt was there to speak, he will be speaking to us. The negotiation process will be starting, the selectmen will be advised, we probably want to have Jim involved once it gets pretty deep. We have a hit list right now for him to go over. The other thing is, for future meetings, we might want to have the long-term building committee in quarterly, just because the old high school's coming up so often, we might want to keep them moving and come up with ideas. I know it came up to both of us on the campaign trail, so I definitely want to stay on that, and like I say, maybe quarterly, and keep things rocking and rolling.
I was talking, just briefly before the meeting, I was talking to Jim. I think we might need to, the select board might need to charge the long-term building committee with something specific to do, so that they're not, so that they actually have like a task, like to do something. So maybe we can talk about
That's
that.
fine,
Okay.
yeah. The mission
Brian was chair of that committee, wasn't
Yeah, he said he wanted to stay
He
on.
said he wanted to stay on the committee, but we probably, I think we do need a select board rep.
Yeah, if he's a liaison, we have to change. Oh, Dick didn't sign these?
We skipped over him.
Yeah, okay.
I was too busy
Because he was
talking.
busy chairing.
Okay, so that's the story there. The only other thing I would ask is that some candidates have their signs in very, very public property, in the middle of medians and whatnot, and they're still there. We'd ask if they get rid of them, but people keep bringing it up, and it is under the selectmen's charge to take care of that. So we'd appreciate it if candidates would get their signs off the town property, please. They've been advised from a few of us, and I know Chris Gonzalez had to go around picking them up, and he had to make some calls. So if people could do that, that would help a lot. That's it for me.
Thank you, Steve. Shauna?
The Internet Advisory Committee is meeting on Thursday. We have some people, Keith and David Cole are participating in this coalition. There's several different communities that are coming together to try to kind of influence state activities. And there's a potential new type of financial situation that we're going to be investigating. So that's one of the reasons we wanted to pass over on the warrant, is to learn more about this other funding model for it. I think that's the only committee meeting so the Climate Resilience Committee continues to have a lot of people. Michael Burris keeps trying to keep us in check. We have more people wanting to join the Climate Resilience Committee, but the problem with really large committees is that you have a hard time meeting a quorum, which doesn't make sense because you think it's just half of the people you have to have, but it's the bigger the committee, the harder it is to get a quorum. So I think they're going to be spending some time figuring that out, actually. And I did, on election night, Irene Buck hosted kind of a chat. We didn't have
Westport Voice.
we didn't have Jim Coyne doing his usual election night coverage, so we missed Jim. But Irene Buck and Betty Slade and I had it was a really good conversation, I thought. So that's available on YouTube now if you want to check it out.
It's worthy checking
I
out.
thought it was fun to participate in. I liked it.
It was fun to watch. Anything else?
So I just wanted to make sure that our next meeting is scheduled for Monday, May 1st, but we'd also want to post for a town meeting. We usually post at 6:30 for a town meeting on May 2nd.
Yes, we'll do that. And we'll get there early in case we have the items. Sometimes we don't, and nothing really takes place, but we reserve that time.
Well, we have the nice thing about that is that we have legal there. So KP Law is there, so we can get it. Yeah.
KP Law,
Yeah, so we get a little bit of an update from KP Law, and
And that'll be mentioned at the next meeting, so we're all on board. Anything else? That's it? Thank you. I have no report. I would have talked about Diamond, but I talked about that earlier, having gone to the last meeting, and I enjoyed that very much. And Ann?
I just had Affordable Housing Trust. Jim and I went to CPC just to talk to them, and everybody's happy, and they're getting some money for affordable housing to run the office, and that was it.
Okay. Thank you. So that concludes item 7. And the next item is 8 is comments and statements. This is really for Annie's benefit. Comments and statements from the public. It doesn't say discussion or anything like that.
If Stinson wants to say anything, that's it.
So the
we
public.
have 2 public members here.
We do have 2 public members, so you can say something. But you can't engage in debate. That would be a violation of open meeting law. But we do suggest that people, if they have something to say and want to make a comment or a statement, they do so, and some people do take advantage of that. So I don't hear any hue and cry for that tonight, so I'll continue on. That's what that's all about. Those who are interested in that. The boards and committees vacancy list is the next item, and it's down here at the bottom of this agenda. And we've got lots of, as Sean has always told us, there's lots of opportunities here in all different areas. And we rely very much on our...
It's a previously signed, it was a word change.
I need a gavel here.
He's
Order in the courtroom.
order in the
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead, finish. We're all friends.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right, so anyway, the list is here, and we do encourage members of the public to come forth, to get involved with government in Westport. You meet a lot of good people, you have a lot of fun, and I highly recommend it, and plenty of opportunity here.
And we have not only the vacancies that are posted, but a lot of people are expiring on the 30th of June also. So we need people who are expiring on the 30th of June to start thinking about re-upping.
You'd rather say their terms are expiring,
Their
correct?
terms are expiring.
Okay, yes, well spoken, okay. All right, that's that item, and we do like to remind people of that. Now, we did item number 10 earlier, but are there any other, Jim, any other 48-hour items? Okay, item 11 is to go into executive session. I have to read this, and then we would have a motion, and it's a roll call motion, Manny, when we go into executive session, and when we vote in executive session, it's roll call. And we come out of executive session, and I'll say this in a minute, that we come out to finish the regular meeting in open session. So, item 11 is executive session. Pursuant to the provisions of MGLC 30A, Section 21A, the chair declares an open meeting will have a detrimental effect to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining the General Teamsters Local Number 251, and B, to approve the April 3, 2023 minutes. Do I have a motion to go into?
So move, Steve Willett.
Second, Shawna Schufel.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call?
Just so you're gonna come out to close, we're not gonna take any votes.
Yes. So, that's right, we will come out and just take a vote to close off the regular meeting. So this particular motion, though, needs a roll call vote. Manny?
Manny Sauce.
I, Steve Willett.
Aye, Shawna Schufel.
Richard Brewer?
I am Boxler.
Okay, we are now in executive session. The motion has carried.